You're watching Barnstable this morning. Joining me now is Barnstable Police Officer Brian Morrison. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You know, one reason I wanted to have you on for our community profile segment is because you give so much back to our community and beyond. I want to talk a little bit about the work you do with the community and really what makes you want to give back so much. I know you give a lot of your free time away.
I do. Born and raised here. From this community, so I think it's important to give back to the community that you belong to, and that helped me out. My parents always taught me, do unto others what's done unto you. So I had a great upbringing here, and it's just a pleasure to give back to the community that I serve.
Yeah, and you serve in so many ways. First of all, you're a school resource officer at Hyannis West Elementary School.
Yes.
You give your time to them. Was that something you volunteered for, or were you assigned to that?
It's a volunteer position. The police chief Ashton wants to do it, and we have several officers that do the schools. So each elementary school has a school officer, and it's real fun for us. We get to interact with the kids, and recess time is the best time for us, or lunch. So it's and the kids get to see us in a different light.
Do you think that helps a little bit to develop a relationship with local children and maybe allow them to see police officers as a friend rather than someone to be a little scared of?
Absolutely. I mean, you see, unfortunately, on television, you see most of the bad stuff, and kids see police officers making a mistake sometimes, or they see us when we're working on the street and arresting the bad guy, and they don't understand what goes on all the time. So when they see us at the school and we're talking to them, interacting with them, they see us in a different light. So absolutely.
And to continue that work with children, you do so much in the community. One thing you do is you're a mentor and you volunteer with Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yes, I've been doing that for a long time. I'm still in contact with my original little brother, which started back in 2001. So it's again, another great program, Big Brothers Big Sisters, that helps out the younger children. You just try to be a positive role model for them. So that's what I like about that program.
So amazing. You also work with the Sheriff's Summer Youth Academy. How do you fit all of this in?
Thankfully, the chief does give me some time off to do some of these other programs. But I'm reassigned in the summertime with the Sheriff's Department for most of it. It's a 4-week program, and it's kids that had a little trouble. Some of the kids just want to do it, want to know what military life is like. And again, another great program. And they use me for the military. I was in the military, so they use me for the military aspect of it. But we do a lot of training too. We teach them about the dangers of drugs and such. And there's it's not just me. I hate to take all the credit, but there's a lot of other people that interact in the community. We have the canine officers come in. We have other members of the Sheriff's Department, members of the community even, that come in and give of their time. So it's really great program that interacts the whole community. So
while you're working with some of those kids at the Sheriff's Summer Youth Academy, do you see a lot of changes in these kids taking place over the course of the 4-week program?
I do. Obviously, you're not going to change overnight. You're not going to change every single child or teenager, but you do see the change. And you hear about the change, which is a good thing. As long as it continues on, we just give them the tools to help themselves out. And as long as they work with their parents, and they can call us anytime as well after the program. And you do see a lot of change. Just the other day, I ran into a former student and doing great. Just making that change in one is what it's all about. So, but most of them do change, so it's great.
Another thing that you've been doing is you've been an integral part of Cops for Kids with Cancer. This is so cool. You actually recently just had a fun run to raise money for the organization. Talk to me about the motivation to get involved with this group as well.
Oh, that was great. They came to me a few months ago, and they wanted to do something for a family on the Cape. It was a single mom who has a son that has a brain tumor. And I knew a little bit about the organization from being in Mass Cops, which is our union organization. And I didn't realize the scope of what they've do. And when they called me, they told me to get the family to the police station. So we got them there, and they gave them a nice amount of money to help with bills and such. As you know, cancer not only bears on the family and the health of the child, but also it's strained financially. So they help out, and I realize that they give out about $10,000 a month. And I asked them, how do they manage all that money? And they do a lot of fundraising. So I thought it'd be a good idea. Hey, they helped out my community. I need to help them out now. So my deputy chief and I, Sonderman, decided to come up with some type of race or fundraiser to do. And I said, everybody likes to run. So why don't we have a fun run? And we get the kids in, we get the adults in. And it started out, and I got to tell you, I was nervous at first. Since the week before, we had about 28 runners. And the community just came out on this past Monday. It was awesome. So again, I had to take my hats off to the community. Again, just coming together like that and helping out, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and you're such an integral part of the community. Not only are you working with all of these charities, but you also help with Stuff a Bus and getting toys for Tots for kids at Christmas time. Is that rewarding to see everyone bring toys and make sure that some kids aren't left out at Christmas?
It is. I mean, people mention Toys for Tots, and I got a big smile on my face. That's fun. That started with me, when the whole Stuff a Bus started with the radio station. I would just go to the mall, buy a toy, bring it on the bus. And I did that for a couple of years. We can do so much more. So I came up with an idea. I challenged my own police station. Said, who can bring the most toys? So it was just my police station and police officers bringing toys to the bus. Then Yarmouth Police Department got a hold of it. So I said, well, we can bring more toys than you. And now I have just about every police department and fire department on the Cape doing it. And it's just a great competition. And most importantly, every toy stays here on Cape Cod. And we did get an award a year ago that we raised the most amount of toys per capita in the whole entire country. So it was pretty cool. So again, I gotta put my hats off to the community that helps us collect the toys, and also the other police and fire departments. So, I spearhead a lot of the things, but I can't do it on my own. So I have a lot of help with everybody. So it's great.
Well, I was going to ask you, I've talked a lot about, sometimes as people we find ourselves busy in day-to-day life, going to and from the next thing we have going. It's really hard for a lot of people to feel like they have time to give back. What would you say to those people who maybe are hesitant right now to sort of join some of these outreach programs?
You have to, you only get one shot at life, and you got to take time out, not just to smell the roses, but enjoy them. Yes, you can be busy at work. You can be busy in your personal life. That's understandable. But it's important to think of others who don't have anything and have nothing but time, but they don't have anything to do with their time. So if you can give of yourself, take 5 minutes, an hour, help somebody else out, pay it forward. Just if you can, join a volunteer organization. You don't have to be there every day. But when it's important, it's something you just got to be there for somebody else.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Officer Morrison, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And,
thank you very much.
Congratulations on all of the successful work you do for our community. We all really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's a lot of fun for me as well. So.
Brian Morrison is an officer with the Barnstable Police Department and a very involved citizen. For Barnstable This Morning, I'm Sarah Mannel.